Quadratic problem solving. It's important when you are looking at problems involving quadratics that you read carefully and understand what it is that you're expected to do. As usual, we're going to need to translate English into math, and that's what this first sentence says. Length of a rectangle is 6 inches more than the width. The area of the rectangle is 91 square inches. Length times width equals area, so we'll be simply substituting here to find our answer. So 91 goes in for A, and W plus 6 goes in for L. I'm going to distribute the W in, and we get W squared plus 6W equals 91. I'm going to stop here and figure out the best way for me to solve this problem. The best way for me to solve this problem that I can see right now is completing the square. So I'll simply complete the square to find the answer. W squared plus 6W plus 6 over 2 squared equals 91. Remember, we'll be balancing this equation by adding 6 over 2 squared to the right side of the equation. In simplification, we get W plus 3 quantity squared equals 100. Simplifying or solving this problem to its core is W plus 3 equals plus or minus 10. W plus 3 equals 10. W plus 3 equals negative 10. Subtract 3 to both sides. The answer is W equals 7 and W equals negative 13. We are trying to find the dimensions of the rectangle. There are two very important key points in reading word problems. Once you find a solution, you have to go back and check the answer against what the question is asking you to solve for. The first thing I have to realize is that the negative 13 is unnecessary, because when dealing with real life examples, negatives don't work. W equals 7 is only half of the answer. I need to go back in to find length, so I will find length by substituting 7 for W, and length equals 13. Number 2. Hypotenuse of a right triangle. I'll begin by drawing myself a right triangle. I have to identify the hypotenuse, and the best way for me to identify it is to find the right angle. The hypotenuse is opposite the right angle. The hypotenuse of a right triangle is 6 more than the shorter leg. Okay, well, I don't know the length of the shorter leg, so I'm going to identify that as x. I know that the hypotenuse is x plus 6. The longer leg is 3 more than the shorter leg. I know the longer leg here is x plus 3. Find the length of the shorter leg. So that's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I will multiply out these perfect square trinomials. X squared plus x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals x squared plus 12x plus 36. I'm going to bring this entire group of numbers to the other side of the equation by using subtraction. And I'll simply line them up. Negative x squared minus 12x minus 36. In doing that, I get this to cancel, so the x squared gets brought down. I get negative 6x here and negative 27 equals 0. Now I'm going to factor this. Please use mental factoring. What two numbers multiply together to make 27? How do those two numbers add up to negative 6? That'll be x minus 9 and x plus 3. I'll now set each one of those binomials equal to 0 to find the solution for x. X equals 9 and x equals negative 3 are my two solutions to this problem. Again, we are going to eliminate the wrong choice. Negatives don't work in distance. Therefore, the answer is x equals 9. Let's go back and reread to make sure that we have found what we need. The length of the short leg is 9. Yes. Here are some other questions that could come from this same problem. Find the length of the long leg, or find the leg of the hypotenuse, or find the length of the hypotenuse, or find the perimeter of the entire shape. So it's very important that you are determining what the answer is so that you can be correct in your result. Because you better believe that if it said find the perimeter of the entire shape, that 9 would be answer choice A in a multiple choice test. Number 3. The product of two consecutive odd integers is less than 3 times is 1 less than 4 times their sum. Would you agree with me that 1 and 3 are odd integers? I can determine what my odd integer will be by just valuing my first integer as x and therefore adding the next consecutive integer as x plus 2. That means now that I have my two integers in general form, now I can find out what my answer is going to be. The product of two consecutive odd integers, that's x times x plus 2, is 1 less than, remember that is my backwards translation, 4 times their sum. X plus 2. I will distribute this x in first, and I will simplify the second set of parentheses in my first step. X squared plus 2x equals 4 times 2x plus 2 minus 1. Distribute in my second step. X squared plus 2x equals 8x plus 8 minus 1. I'll simplify this and move it simultaneously, so that's 8x minus 7, and I get x squared minus 6x minus 7 equals 0. I'll be using mental factoring, what two numbers multiply together to make 7, and how do those two numbers add up to 6? Well, that's got to be x minus 7 and x plus 1. I'll be setting both of these equal to 0 to determine what my answer could be. X equals 7 and x equals negative 1. All right, now find the two integers that I could use. All right, remember the original problem was that I've got consecutive odd integers. So that means I'm looking for the pair that fits this description. 7 and negative 1 is not the answer. It's only part of the answer. So as it turns out, 7 and 9 are one pair of consecutive odd integers that will make this statement true. Negative 1 and positive 1 are the other pair of consecutive odd integers which will also make this true. Because there are no more restrictions on which pair of odd integers I will use, both of them are my answer. Question number 4. A picture measures 8 inches long by 5 inches wide. By 8. If a mat of uniform width surrounds the frame, the area of the picture and the frame together is 154 inches. Find the width of the mat. So we're going to have a uniform amount. It'll be the same all the way around the shape. That means this small distance here, all the way around, is x. All right, now the key to this problem is that this entire frame is 154 inches. That means that everything, including the picture, is already included in the 154 inches squared. That is very important because there will be some problems where you will be expected to add the picture, area of the picture, to the picture of the frame before beginning. This is not that problem. The entire area of the large rectangle is 154 square inches. The area of the entire rectangle can be found by multiplying length times width. We need the length from here to here, and we need the width from here to here. That means that the distance that we do know is 5. And we're going to add that to the length of the frame on the top edge and the bottom edge, which is 2 times x. This is likewise the width that we already know as 8, and we're going to add that to the length of the mat on the left and the right edge, which is 2x. So we will simply plug in our formula. 154 equals 2x plus 5 times 2x plus 8. I'm going to bring the 154 over as well as multiply this binomial out. I get 4x squared plus 26x minus 114 equals 0. Now I'm going to use the quadratic formula, opposite of 26, plus or minus the square root of 26 squared minus 4 times 4 times negative 114. I'm going to divide that by 2 times 4. Negative 26 plus or minus the square root of 2,500 divided by 8. Negative 26 plus 50 divided by 8, and negative 26 minus 50 divided by 8 will be the two answers to this problem. This is 24 divided by 8, and this is negative 76 divided by 8. The one that I will need and the one that I will use is 24 divided by 8 because the length cannot be negative. The answer to this problem is x equals 3. Go back and reread the question, find the width of the mat, and I have, therefore I am finished. Please remember, there are other problems that could be solved here. As far as the entire problem is concerned, find the width of the entire picture and frame, or find the length of the entire picture and frame. It's critical that you read the question carefully to understand what it is you're looking at to ensure that you have answered the problem correctly.